Hello, I'm Tato Cat and welcome to my channel. Today we are paying the letter previously after Ash comes to the realization that, well, he has no idea what to do. He decides to call the other people who are affected, and of course they don't answer. And then we learned about his past with everybody, pretty much. And after Isabella wakes up or whatever, she cooks and stuff and then hands us this bowl of what seems to be hot cocoa crisps. We're like, that's weird. And that's where we left off. Yeah. Alright. Let's continue. Warm against my hands, tempting me to take a bite. Not that I don't appreciate this, but what good will this do? Zach and Rebecca's both out there. Who knows when that ghost will show up again? Even in our dreams, we're not safe. But that's it, isn't it? We don't know when. And at present, we have a chance at respite. Maybe the only one we'll have. Even if it's mundane as sharing food between us. Quietly just sitting side by side, like this, without exchanging any words. The intent hangs unspoken in the air, something that probably goes as far as back as the second she offered food. Still, in the end, Isabella's never pushes it. Rather, she lets her own silence convey her hope. Whether I'll allow myself that break, she leaves up to me. So, we have two options. Take her offer, or I'm not hungry. Why would we choose I'm not hungry? Other than, like, getting all the endings, like, why would it be like, no, let's just turn her down? No, take her offer.
Thank you.
Relationship status updated. Isabella likes us more. Good. It would be bizarre if we were like, oh, yeah, I'll take a bite. And she's like, fuck you. You know? The words roll off my tongue, awkward and unfamiliar, far removed from those jests and quips we've shared. Yet she accepts this with a smile and nothing more, regardless of everything left unsaid. The sight of it brings comfort, more so than any generous offer of food could give. Food that they still haven't told us what she made. Like, is this a traditional dish, or was she just like, I have nothing in my kitchen but hot chocolate and cereal and whipped cream. And so she just like made that. So we both lapse into silence after, as we finish our food. There's ease in it. In the muffled sounds of Luxborn filtering into the room, and the light streaming from her windows, and the faint draft occasionally drifting, catching the loose tendrils of her hair, in the way her voice falters when she tries to form words. And despite the horror looming over us, I find myself wishing for the minutes to slow, for the seconds to last. But ultimately, she's the one who breaks it. Softly, after a minute's pause, in words mumbled under her breath. Sometimes silence simply compels us to speak.
I've been wondering, before last night, before Mama told me the news, what if What if Papa passes away, despite everything? That sort of thing. I know it's not good to think about, but I also knew it was getting worse. Mama won't say anything, but I've always known that one day, he'll eventually...
She releases a sigh as her grip on the bowl she still holds tightens. There are no tears, but she might as well have them with how weak her voice falls. Are there even any left?
I don't know what I'm going to do. Before, I can easily say it's because of Papa. Now, I don't have anything.
You have that scholarship from Lux U.
Were you going through my personal papers while I was sleeping last night?
Yeah, no?
I don't really have to. You left it sitting in the open, right there on the table.
Okay, just because it's sitting in the open on there on the table doesn't mean we have to look and read it. I know it's a occupational hazard, but still. Like there's still anything to hide. She snatches it away from where I've placed it back earlier. Except there's no anger or annoyance in her face. When she looks at it and rereads every line with a pensive expression, after a short while, she folds it neatly along the creases and sets it back.
I don't even know if this will work out.
Well, if it doesn't, what about that exhibit you've been planning with Zach?
Oh, she's been planning an exhibit with Zach? I'm sorry, Zach.
Do I even have to ask where you got that?
Zach sucks at lying. You have no idea how easy he is to read. It was all in his face when I asked about it. And anyway, if that doesn't pan out too...
I trail off, hesitating, measuring the weight of my next words. Genuine as they are, a part of me believes they're a burden, too heavy to impose on her. Because no matter how much I want her to stay, we are not what ties her here. It'd be selfish to ask that of her. More than anything, her family will always come first. I say it nevertheless, if only to let her know that no matter what her choice will be, there will be people here whose lives her mere presence has changed. Mine, most of all.
You
Oh, he has such a cute blushy face.
have us.
Aww. The words startle her to a pause, and slowly she turns to me, her eyes wide, disbelief all over her face. Journal updated. Ooh, let's read the journal. Oh, that's right. J. October 30th. Lots of stuff happening. There it is. After leaving their friends an urgent message, Ashton returned to Isabella's apartment. I'm happy they stopped first and last naming people every time they talk about them. He found the girl already up and about cooking. Seeing his exhaustion, Isabella reminded him he should take care of himself first and offered food. With a muttered thanks, he accepted. So I assume that the journal entries will change later. Because I could have chose to not get the food, of course. I wonder if there's like a thing that keeps the journal entries. That'd be cool. But before regret forces an apology up my throat, her expression dissolves to something I can't quite place. Something distinctly softer, more tender, familiar. Almost in the same manner she glanced at me years ago, that day at the bridge. However, I don't get the chance to figure out what it all means for her.
Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a
Ash,
cool
you
dude,
need to
pretty fly
change
for an Asian guy. Sup,
your
I'm Ash from
ringtone.
Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out,
What, did it
can't
change
beat me.
again
Looking for
already?
trouble?
What
Better
new
not
thing
lie.
happened?
I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian guy. Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie.
It said relationship
I'm a cool dude,
updated,
pretty
but it
fly
shows
for an
me
Asian guy.
new
Sup,
in the
I'm Ash
journal.
from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian
Bizarre.
guy. Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe
All
City.
of a
Baggers, watch out,
sudden, my
can't beat me.
ringtone breaks
Looking
the
for trouble?
moment,
Better not
and
lie.
just as
I'm a
fast, both
cool
our
dude,
attention
pretty fly
shifts
for an
towards the
Asian guy.
source.
Sup, I'm Ash from
Before
Deluxe
things can
City.
get awkward
Baggers, watch out,
fast,
can't beat me.
I stand
Looking
up
for trouble? Better
and
not
leaving the
lie.
room
I'm a
while
cool
muttering
dude,
some
pretty fly for
flimsy
an Asian
excuse to
guy.
answer the phone.
Sup,
Sorry, let me just take this call. It's probably Zach or Rebecca.
Really? I know we're in a pinch, but their timing can't get any worse. Oh. Unknown. Unrelated frustrations aside, once I step out of the room and accept the call, the stone that has been stuck in my stomach simultaneously lodges itself up my throat. The person on the other side of the line isn't who I'm expecting.
Right, Eli Frey, right? It's Officer Renz over at the precinct. You know, you bring me donuts to keep an eye out for you and shit.
We bribe some dude with donuts? 'Cause that's not a stereotype at all.
Oh, yeah, right, Renz, what's up? You've, never called me through this line before. Is this something urgent?
Yeah, kinda. Something came up this morning. You know the big guy? Your, buddy? Big guy. Around 6 feet tall.
Uh-oh.
Zach?
I don't feel too good about this. Neither do I.
Yeah, him. Zachary Steele, I think.
What about him?
He's been detained and...
Wait, what? Sorry.
What do you mean he's been detained?
I feel so bad because I feel like it could have been avoided probably, and it's all my fault. But I guess that's the joy in visual novels where your choices actually matter and it's not an illusion of choice.
They brought them in this morning.
That's not what I asked. What are the charges?
I don't know. Not my division. I'm not really supposed to be on the phone right now, but I thought you want to know. Anyway, I gotta go. If you want to see him, just drop by. Not sure how that'll work, though. The chief has a standing order not to let you into the precinct until Monday.
Yeah. Thanks for the heads up. I'll bring you some coffee to go with those donuts, too, next time.
Coffee and donuts. What a way to bribe a police officer. The call ends with a click. While I'm left here, reeling, staring blankly at my phone. It's just my luck that In this exact moment, Isabella chooses to peek out from her apartment.
Was that Zach? Is he gonna drop by?
I have no idea now. I look right now. I have no idea how I look right now, but it must be far from anything pleasant. The curious expression on Isabella's face quickly melts away as soon as she chances a closer glance at me.
What's wrong, Ash?
I'm left with no other choice than I tell her exactly as Officer Renz has said. Have said. And the more I spill, the more grim her countenance becomes.
Stay here. I'll go check on him. See what I can do.
No, I'll go with you.
Belle, I'm not going in there for a casual visit. Zach's in trouble and...
Yeah, but do you want to leave her alone in the situation that we're in? Whether I think that it's like, oh, we're not just popping, that doesn't matter. You need to stick together. That's the point. Sticking together.
I know, but he's not the kind of person who'd do something that'll land him in prison. There must be a mistake.
Believe me, I'm on the same page as you, but...
I want to see him, all right?
And there it is, again. That same sharp gleam that has been present in her eyes since yesterday. Little by little, I'm finding it difficult to say no to it. What other choice do I have to? Still no word on Rebecca and Zach. Isabella probably doesn't want to be the one who ends up waiting for the news. I know exactly how that feels. So in the end, a nod. The simplest response I can give.
Just let me turn off everything. I'll be out in a few.
Quickly, she disappears behind the door. From inside, the sound of her foot shuffling a few locks, clicking shut, and the television being turned off drifts out of the hallway. Her whole business inside takes only a few minutes. Within 5, we're both on our way to LPD. At least we know where Zach is now. That explains why he's not answering his phone. But what the hell did you do, Zach? He said he had a plan that might help, but it got him in enough trouble to get himself in the cell. I don't think I like that plan of his. And hell yeah, I'm mad. I'm absolutely furious. It's just as Isabella said. I doubt Zach will get himself arrested because of an actual crime. But whatever stupid stunt he pulled to get there isn't any better. The only good thing today so far is the fact that the streets are nearly empty so early on Sunday morning. Very few pedestrians and virtually no other car on the road to get in the way of us rushing to the precinct. Within the speed limit, of course. Hello, random cop. This is definitely precinct D. I believe this is a precinct, but I would think that there would be more cops. There's like one cop and a random person. A whirlwind of activity welcomes us as soon as we waltz into LPD HQ. Fellow officers running here and there, pushing around paperwork, and answering calls. It's almost Halloween, and troublemakers are abound. Calls about pranks gone wrong make up most of it this time of the year, along with the occasional altercation or missing dog. Some of the other officers who work with me look up from their desks and wave. Well, none of them moves to stop us like I'm expecting. Standing order, I ask. It probably didn't last a whole day. Although, I like to have a chat with them sooner or later about official matters. I'm not here for them right now. Of course, it never hurts to see what they have for me. And the best person to ask for details in this precinct is the guy behind the booking window. He glances up at me once when I approach, then immediately returns to his task, indifferent. Not that I need his full attention. As long as he talks, I'm good. Next to me, Isabella stands wordlessly, clearly uncomfortable, waiting in anticipation from how close she's sticking to me. That's probably because she's been the same position so many times in her life. Her drunkard brother, the eldest, a repeat offender. Mostly minor cases, but she had to be the one to bail him out every time, from what I've gathered. I can't imagine what's going on inside her head now that it's happened to a close friend. Hearing the way these guys talk about him must be worse.
Hey, I heard there's a new guy in the holding cells.
Not many here know Zach, and if they've seen him, they don't pay too much attention. I try to keep my work and personal life as far away from each other as I possibly can. Each one of them is quick to chat gossip, be the one to talk about the new detainee, and have everyone's attention.
News flies fast, huh? They just brought him in this morning.
Any info on him?
Got his ass handed by some rich bloke's bodyguard. Or butler, whatever. When we got to the scene, he's already been strung up and ready for pickup. Hard to imagine how a guy like him could have been taken down, but the butler has this creepy air to him. I'd rather not ask. Feel sorry for the bloke, he could have fought back.
That's because Zach wouldn't hurt a fly.
Damn it, Isabella. Isabella. Shut up. We're trying to not let people know that we know him, okay? It did not sound like it was under her breath, but whatever, game. All said under her breath. But her grip on her bag grows rigid. Unlike me, she's not frustrated at Zach. That ire is directed at the person who put our friends in this predicament. It's true, though, Zach's not that kind of person, and knowing he might be in a bad state, whatever little I anger, Qua? Whatever little anger I've built for him on the way here dissolves to thin air.
Has he been booked yet?
And then? Question mark?
Nope, still sleeping. Creepy butler probably hit him hard.
Which is a good thing. If they slip up and forget, we get him a writ of habeas corpus and take him out of there, depending on right of habeas corpus. What is that? I don't know. I don't know enough. I don't know that much copy stuff to know what that is. Depending on what he's actually being charged with. But at the same time, it's bad. How long is he going to be unconscious?
Your friend was caught on rye property, and you better believe I'm not happy about this. Not one bit.
Oh, it's him. I want to say that there must be some sort of misunderstanding. Zach isn't the type to do such a thing unless it was his plan all along. In that case, I couldn't just charge blindly into this without all the details, no matter how much I want to believe my friend's innocence. And, right? Luke, right? What on earth was Zack thinking? In any case, it doesn't look like Chief is happy. Even if I don't protest and give him a salute. Not pleased at all at the fact that he grabs me and pulls me aside is an indication. If I were to describe his expression, he looks ready to kill me.
I swear, Frey, if you're behind this, if you told Steele to stalk the rights because you were taking off the case,
I'm not stupid enough to ignore chain of command and go against official orders. Give me some credit, Chief.
And you better be sure you didn't.
Even if he did, what proof is there that we did? Just saying.
Luke Wright is coming here, and we both know he's trouble. I'd consider your friend lucky if he only gets charges put against him. Maybe if we can make sure he's in a good mood, he won't escalate the situation. Hell, maybe we'll have a bloody miracle and Steele only gets a slap on the wrist, but Lord knows it's unlikely with that man.
You know him well, Chief.
I assume Isabel is not pleased with this. An observation, not an accusation. But it might as well be with how things panned out from the night of the housewarming party to the morning that followed. His wife's familiar with them, too. Who's to say that friendship hasn't colored the investigation into Luke Wright? I don't want to accuse my superior, but damn it, he makes it difficult.
Of course I do, shouldn't you? We've been looking into the guy for so long. I'd call you a bad detective if you can't even tell me whether he's right or left-handed.
That's an easy one. He's left-handed, but he's been taught to use his right.
So painful.
You can tell when he picks something up with his left hand, but when he realizes that, he moves it to the right.
Well, at least I don't have to question your ability. Anyway, if I were you, I'd either go and make myself scarce or sit down and shut up. Don't go aggravating people, basically, because you have a knack for that at the worst of times.
As much as I hate to say it, but he's right. It's better to keep my mouth shut and not make things worse for Zack. There's not much to do now but hope for the best. They don't call for an investigation when it comes to petty felonies. Worst case scenario, he's looking at a fine worth £5,000 and 6 months in jail. Best case scenario, we get the charges bumped down to trespassing, a misdemeanor, and juvenile offense, and he'll be given probation. He'll be charged for restitution. At this point, those seem to be the most likely outcomes. I don't see how he could have been framed for breaking and entering unless he was taken into somebody's property against his will. Even in my head, that sounds unlikely.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I think I'm a delight to be around.
Yeah. Such a wonderful ball of happiness and sunshine and joy to speak with, Ashton.
Tell that to my blood pressure pills. Anyway, let me handle him, alright?
Oh, here he comes. Speak of the devil, if you know what I mean. Right on cue. The moment Chief says, that's, you know, who arrives. And like the arrogant show-off that he is, he makes sure his arrival is well noticed by everyone within the immediate vicinity. Behind me, Isabella gasps. She has no idea how much of a trash his previous client is. Now she's going to get a frontline view of it. She has no idea how much of a trash this previous client, this, or makes more sense than his. Huh? The guy ignores the front desk even when Benjamin tries to greet him. He just blows past him, walks in all high and mighty as if he owns the place. Meanwhile, that creepy butler of his trails behind him, like a tame dog on its leash. Kinky. Okay, and we'll end this episode here. We'll see where all of this is going to go in the next episode. If we figure out what happens to Zach, if Zach is okay, or will just be slapped on the wrist, or if Zach is dead in the cell. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I'm Taylor. Have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon.